Hey, welcome back. Do you have evidence that shows who's the real killer?
I do.
Huh?
Does that mean I'm gonna show it? If I show that piece of evidence now, I'm sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try
Try to conceal
anything, you will be one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? Better think this through carefully. Can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? One that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? If I show it, he's gonna say one. Everything after that, Lana will go, no. She'll hit me with the Palpatine, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
But Gant will also pull the, how do you know that was in my safe? Why were you going through my safe illegally?
Okay. So you want more information before you present it?
Yeah. That's the only reason why I wouldn't show the evidence. Not at this exact moment.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
What? You lie!
How do you know I lie?
In bed. With me.
Chief Gant!
You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you?
I'll take the punishment
You
after
know
all
whose
this.
fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest. Notice anything odd about the chest area?
Yeah, he's bleeding a lot. I mean, I don't do that on a daily basis. I mean, am I wrong? I'm not bleeding constantly.
That's a weird way to lactate.
It looks like part of it has been cut out for some reason.
You mean you had this in your safe?
Holy shit. So, thank God I was right in not doing it, because then it would be he's going to incriminate himself by saying, yeah, I had it. I knew. I helped forge. I was an accomplice. What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in history of the police department.
In the all of history. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto.
I don't have my gallbladder anymore.
My God, he's a maniac. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer.
That's all in evidence.
I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you admit to it? Hope you're ready for 7 hours of content.
For a 7-hour monologue by me.
You lost your cat, we're fucked now.
Maybe. No, I gotta do hand motions to get in character.
That's not good. You have a cat that's wanting to climb everything. How'd you grab my penis?
I thought that was the cat. Because it's tiny.
Oh!
Boom. I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her?
Manipulated?
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Doc convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you.
2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? But why?
For insurance, of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence?
What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana. I go and wipe the blood off of all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it.
Nope, it's on fire. Currently burning.
Oh, it's on fire! What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant. Oh shit. Oh shit! He's already refused not to testify.
Yeah, he can't testify, but he can still present evidence.
Yeah, he can present evidence, but everything he's saying does not help because it's not put on the record.
That doesn't matter.
But it's the most logical thing to think about. Why did the game developers not go? It wouldn't be allowed in technically.
What would not be allowed?
Everything he's saying, his testimony, all of what he's saying, wouldn't be allowed.
No, but we're finding the truth here. Who cares about court stuff and whatever?
The people being convicted care about the court stuff. Me, who likes court proceedings, care about the court stuff.
If it wasn't mentioned, it doesn't exist.
That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe.
Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it before it was too late.
It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory's mine.
Let's take a look. So Chief Gant said that he hid all the evidence. He did all that. So he was the one that wrote the name on the jar and shattered it. He said he was the... Well, he didn't write the name. Neil Marshall did. He shattered the jar and just stole the piece. That's what he said. He said he cut off the vest off of Neil Marshall and hid it in his safe. With that new information, what is now odd? Well, I suppose let's look at the 2 pieces of evidence. The jar, right here. It was inside of his safe. He took away the most legible part, which I guess it would be the most legible part of Japanese, but don't worry about that. And then...
Let's not worry about the fact that in English, you just kind of need the first 2 letters.
Yeah.
You can kind of figure out the middle one yourself.
And then the piece of cloth right here. Piece of cloth right here. And then we got this new evidence right here. So what is weird? What is odd?
I want to say it's the last one.
What's up with this photo? What's weird about it?
Doesn't look like it's anywhere close to the jar.
No, it is because the jar.
Well, I know the jar's right next to it, but how did... Okay. That photo helps more with knowing what the jar is.
Yeah. So
Where it's cut.
Well, it's cut.
No, I'm speaking to myself out loud.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself info out loud so I can determine other stuff.
I want you to be perfectly silent. That, then the cloth that was cut out. Yeah.
It's a nice thin piece of leather.
Yes, and the jar over here.
Okay. I'm trying to find what sticks out now.
Yeah. Yeah, just what doesn't make sense.
Am I at least on the right track?
With these 3 pieces, yes.
With the pieces I've given you, yeah.
Yeah. You're right to find something odd with this photo.
That is not sticking out. All I can think of is the... Oh, I'm wrong on that too.
But what?
It's the cut.
What about the cut?
The shape.
The shape? The shape looks pretty good.
That's why I said I'm wrong on that.
Sort of. The shape is right.
Game developers like, I give up. It's a piece of cloth.
Yeah.
It's brown, it's textured cloth.
Yeah.
Leather, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you one more hint if you want it.
Yes, please.
You're very close when it comes to looking at the shape. Very close to that.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking at besides the shape.
Shape, its surroundings.
It's not covered in blood. Why the fuck couldn't I realize it was not covered in blood?
Covered in blood.
That took way too long for my brain. Your Honor, I too have evidence to present now.
Alright, then let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh, yes! At last, you finally brought it out into the open.
I'm sorry, hold on now. We're about to find out he killed Marshall, too. It's gonna turn out Marshall got, like, knocked out. And then he cut the piece of vest out so he could use somebody to his leverage. And then stuck Marshall with the sword.
And then put the blame on Emma.
Going, I got her prints. I got the name written on the vase. It's his blood that wrote it.
I got this clearly not Photoshop photo of her doing it. Just her at a theme park, just raise her hand. Neil Marshall's dead body.
There's a handprint on the piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that that immediately be sent to the lab for analysis.
I don't have your baba, Edgeworth.
There's handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
You mean?
It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
You don't gotta take it to the lab. We already know whose it is. I've already tested it.
Oh, you are as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Raito had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
Rule number 2 of the book.
Ooh, you mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints were on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
He pulls out the piece of leather and he starts slapping it with his own hand. They're mine!
Take me.
Not you, Gant. I want Edgeworth to take me.
You're in the
In the courtroom right now!
Why are you embarrassing me?
I know you love it. Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is Meekins. This 22-year-old who would have been 20 and not on the force at all or any reason to be here. He did it. It's Emma's. It's Angel. Let's bring her back in.
No!
I could use some more interpretive dancing.
Emma Sky.
What? They're mine?
Sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
I feel like my judge voice is starting to slowly turn into like John Marston.
You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me.
So it's true. Tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. She went, hey, yeah.
How could you? You monster!
Miss Sky.
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really did it.
Miss Sky, it's not over yet.
What?
Also, why are you on the stand? He was just on the stand.
I'm on the floor. Help!
She shoved me over to the floor. I'm stuck on my back.
Oh, jeez.
Said this trial isn't over yet.
But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too.
You're just like filled with helium and like you can change and raise or lower.
You purposely conceal this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense.
You purposely sealed it in your own fucking safe.
I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy!
What, this tiny little pen? You're gonna have it.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer?
Now, why would you phrase her as a poor little girl?
He's quite rich, actually.
Well, if you're gonna get on to me, wouldn't you say you're gonna be the one who's known for making a girl into a murderer and a poor little girl, not the emphasis of, oh, but she's just some dainty flower who's innocent. You wouldn't know she's innocent.
Yeah, he's clearly trying to guilt trip her. Hey, guilt trip him.
Well, I know he's trying to guilt trip.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it shows his not his conviction. I guess it'd be like conviction.
His shadiness.
Yes. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up.
Oh? And what's that?
Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What? This is like a roller coaster. I feel like I'm...
Chief Gant, I can't continue with that bit. You're absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Sky, wasn't it?
Nope. No, it wasn't. I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about?
My handprints. I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gant, tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this claw. A man of the claw. This priest.
And what exactly is this supposed to be?
It's Russell Crowe as a priest.
Russell Crowe?
This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes, I see it. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His vest is soaked with blood. It's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured, blood pouring out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth just got this dirty handprint on it. Wait, there's no blood on it.
Yeah!
That's right. The DS wasn't that good at picking up the details. So that's what we went with. Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on a sword at that time.
No! This is nonsense!
Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out.
If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor with his big muscly arms and impaled him on the armor's sword. He's turned it into a motorcycle.
Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue, and make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago. That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? It's a good song. Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer.
No!
It sounded like somebody grabbed him by the nipples. Started shaking him at the end.
Why do you think the lighting's coming out of it? It was a car battery.
It's finally over.
That was quite close, right? Oh, you almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean, refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
How?
What out order? What nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, RG? Earlier, old Wright here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Wrighto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you?
Wasn't conclusive yet. Couldn't bring it in because it didn't work. I got a book all on it.
Have you read some book? You read a book before, haven't you?
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
Sonny! That's right, get over here and bend over.
I love Sonny D.
I'm afraid Mr. Grant's claim is legally correct.
My name's Gant.
Grant! Alan Grant, I called in the doctor.
That's my Hugh Grant impression.
Now, Dr. Alan Grant, am I a dinosaur?
Wonder what you... Well, Mr. Edgeworth, continue. Well, Mr. Edgeworth.
True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
I wonder what your Jeff Goldblum is. It's more nasally. Don't move, the T-Rex only looks when you're moving. Hey! If you didn't do it, I would have gotten them out just fine. Why'd you do it? Well, Mr. Wright. Anybody who says Jeff Goldblum was fair in that movie, you're stupid. It seems at last. Time for me to reveal my plan.
Yes,
Finally arrived.
my plan.
No, he's gotta go into like the evil anime monologue.
He finally caught me. Yes, I did know at that time. I was behind everything all along.
Did I catch you, Goku? Yeah. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? But I didn't. Purposely, yes. Illegally, no.
Darn.
No. If I admit to that, all my plans will have been for nothing.
You idiot.
It seems Mr. Wright didn't understand the implication of his conduct.
God, I took the first minute. If you're gonna change your position, this is your only chance, right?
If only I had stated my second part of my opinion
God,
quicker.
you should have. Yes, I did it on purpose. I did it on purpose, but I did it illegally.
Yeah. 3 seconds. New world record.
Too slow.
He's right. I admit I refused to present it at one point.
So the evidence is illegal.
No, you fatty. Hey, that's not nice.
Stop being rude.
No, it isn't, Mr. Grant.
Huh? Scant.
Grant. Just constantly correcting him. It's gone.
It's Scant.
It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, Archie! Don't listen to his lies! He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
You will shut your mouth.
There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Fisticuffs like real men. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. You can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. Law evidence.
What's this?
A book. I've done my homework too, Chief. Chef.
Chef.
Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence.
Law.
It's only 200 pages deep.
Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. Goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department.
Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
And here is the crux matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Sorry, but you can recall. When was that picture presented? But can you recall? Jesus.
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant.
Mr. Grant,
You yourself confessed to a certain truth.
let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh, yes.
Glad that we got that cleared up.
No!
No, you said yes.
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. Can you imagine being on your DS and just fucking going crazy?
I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman.
Yeah, that's right.
Pow!
If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned them down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. You play Goodman.
Yeah, see?
What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? Can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker. And as he was taking the evidence out, he said,
It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall.
well, to be honest, I was a bit taken back by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife.
Then I hit him with my flame.
I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much that about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess.
Hey, that's my locker!
I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will.
The moment he's like, I don't make anything! Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this?
Well, she has as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take.
So, you left the jar fragments in the glove.
Yeah.
and the light on.
It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Dismantle.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me were the same. One day, you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
Not when I try and go it alone.
Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Haji.
What?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you were you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person.
Those days are gone now, Haji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong.
Has he explained why he killed him yet?
He killed Marshall to fully control Lana. And put in the blame. Yeah, he thought of everything beforehand. And he killed Goodman because he was investigating.
I knew Goodman. Goodman was very clear. I didn't know if there was more to that other than he just killed Marshall to control Lana.
Yeah, that's the main reason. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning.
The sound of your hands clapping together?
I'm not masturbating.
It's the sound of me and Edgeworth together. There are two things I want you to understand.
Yes?
First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. See, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent.
You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. What I've done these past 2 years. The time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
Alright, guilty.
What?
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
Sorry, Miss Sky. Couldn't get you out of all your trouble. You did mangle a corpse.
My. What high standards you have for a rookie. I could see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top.
Oh, you mean 7 games? Can't wait.
I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky.
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing.
It would have been better if Edgeworth was like bawling his eyes. I'll miss you too! Liar.
I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I only did my job!
In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky.
Yes, Your Honor?
You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes. I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Nuclear bomb went off.
A copy. That sounds like too. When a bomb goes off, a copy.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty.
Ah, he finally died.
Wait, he didn't hit his gavel. No, we need him. Somebody resuscitate him real quick.
Oh, he fell onto the gavel.
At long last, it's finally over.
Emma! I had a long face. Sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. At least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended,
Judge died.
I could see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
She smiled. She wasn't cold.
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Get out of the way! I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
It would have been amazing if that's what happened. He just straight up shoves her down.
Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later.
I'm sorry. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
They rehired me. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty? And top it off, you call me here, and I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. Only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
No, not this time. Came today because of, you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Is it gonna be the other? Oh no, it's okay. I thought it was gonna be like a scientific investigator, so she could be like, try to introduce you to what your job will be.
You're hired. I didn't have an interview. You're hired. Lana.
Hey, just go to the chief detective, see if he lets you in immediately. He's too busy looking at his computer.
Yeah. Huh?
Hired. Get out.
Forensic investigator? Yeah, sure, we need some of those. Go ahead.
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know.
And I'm still a detective. Well, I won't tell if you won't. I'm
Emma.
gonna kill her.
I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago. It was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in a mess. Tess. I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realized I was wrong. I changed after that day.
I mean, it's not like you were going to know immediately that he's the one who did everything.
I had to. It was the only way I could make it through these past 3 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. I was scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh?
I did it for myself.
I turned my back on you that day. And hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. Such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma. I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course! You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now that you have... Oh, Emma. Emma.
Congratulations, player. You've just spent like 17 DS charges to beat this game.
The 3DS?
Oh, is this 3DS? I thought this was the first DS.
No, it's DS, but it's like 2 charges if you play on the 3DS, I guess.
That original DS did not have a good battery. This one had to have been at least over 15 charges.
You have to, like...
To get through this trial alone.
You have to play with the charger plugged in. That's how you play any DS game.
That's not how I do. Because I took the DS when I was on the go. What's the point of taking your Switch with you if they're like, hey, we came out with this new portable game? Doesn't work portable. Moment you get it out and it's not being charged, dead.
It's the limitations at the time. They didn't have cool batteries.
No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we wake up for our mistakes? What? Why must... Yeah, we wake up... Make up... Fuck. For our mistakes, you ask. Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. Up, up, and away! At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up.
Mr. Wright. Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right? Edgeworth?
Oh, he's hanging from the ceiling.
I was under the sofa.
Edgeworth?
Stop hiding and come over here.
He's actually underneath a cushion.
Yeah.
Where was he hiding?
I just came to say...
Hello.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now.
Woohoo!
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
I guess that's not the line. I guess it's whoop whoop.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth, not only that, I don't even trust myself anymore.
Is everybody gonna come work for my company now?
Yeah. Chief Kant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I too despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now.
Edgeworth.
Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake.
They were lovers as well.
Yes. You said,
He's in the walls again, guys. Watch out.
in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. My badge.
So powers together, I guess yes, but powers together combined created what piece of evidence?
They could. It's the list.
That's the picture I drew.
The damn blue badger.
God.
My counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Part we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture.
It didn't. This happened by chance, Mr. Edgeworth.
I set it up. You're my puppets.
It's time for me to go.
Cry.
Mr. Edgeworth. If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Edgeworth! What will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you.
I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too.
Don't give me that smug smile. That's
Right.
It's a very ugly face you got when you make it.
But what I face now is my problem.
Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court.
Farewell.
I'll see you next time in Ace Attorney 2. He just slowly plugs the next
lawyer.
game that it's in works.
I better be going to. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here. It's a little something for you.
What is this, fucking ugly duckling?
Scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will.
That's so happy it makes me sick.
You wanted it to smile.
It's so happy it makes me sick. And so another case came to a close.
God, fucking bookcase just fell on top of me.
Oh my god, somebody rushed Lana. She's dead.
God.
As for the sisters, I have faith. Yep, see, that's their memoir. Both sisters died tragically in a bookcase falling. Faith that their lives have only just begun. You'll never find it.
Yeah, well.
As for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. Not with Butts, get him out of here. Journey to rediscover myself. Really focused heavily. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this.
But
Thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, wasn't cheap either. Huh?
way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here's the one who will be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. What?
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Cocaine! Oh, okay.
That's just the...
A shoe!
Oh, a shoe? What shoe? That's how we got rid of all the dust, actually.
I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I managed to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crime together with Emma.
You always come work with me.
Alright, next is Gumshoe. Get your tonsils ready.
Takeshi Yamazaki.
Yeah.
Kazuya Nuri.
Kazuya.
Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation at the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it would be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. I latch onto you and try and kill you.
Okay.
Tatsuya Inamoto?
Kojiro
Hirochika.
Hirochika Nagaki.
Hey, Hirochika.
Kuta Fukumachi.
Takanori.
Takanori Ishikawa. My new mission is to go to the main entrance and take care of Billy! Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard! My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them now! Someday I'm gonna make detective! Yes, sir! Then I can just be like that Dick Gumshoe!
Sorry, did he and Marshall get demoted to security?
Well, Marshall's probably in jail. Well, we'll find out. He's next.
For punching? For beating up another cop?
Yeah, that's classified as assault.
Only if they decide to charge him. That's not Marshall, that's the Blue Badger.
Looks a little bit different today.
Get that satanic creature out of here!
It's not like he's gonna show up again. Oh god, he's dead!
He shows up in my dreams. I'm Superman. He's there. With kryptonite! Just waving it!
Just Blue Badger, like kryptonite flags. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Story managed to sneak this in for me. She seems she's saying one of the guards, it seems. Oh, cowboy, looks like you did it. You've again Bambina back her smile. You make sure Billy and the gang get her water.
How do you have alcohol in prison? Somebody make you prison wine. Don't drink that stuff. That stuff will kill you. Oh, shit.
Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while.
I don't want to see you ever.
As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The Wright way mint lunch. Top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory.
It sounds awful.
Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards.
That sounds awful. You want something that's bitter but sweet.
The judge is next.
Oh, shit! Well, no, that's Ben Judd. That's not the judge.
Oh.
And Brandon Gay!
Ben Judd is the voice of Phoenix, by the way.
I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be. Huh? Oh no! I forgot my gavel. Sorry, I gotta go.
Mr. Left, more like Mr. Trump.
Sorry, there's a lot of dust in the air.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yokomuto.
Ooh.
Looks like you got muto.
Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you in your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spare medium. Miss Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick.
I didn't come to visit you. Who are you talking to?
I'm seeing things.
Ayatomo. Kaishi Kubori. Tomohiro Mahiro.
Kalagiri.
Miho!
Kentaro or healer.
Ryohi.
Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. What's going on?
I resign!
I resign for another 5 years.
Midnight! I got a box of chocolates, Midnight.
Thanks for coming to see me off. Can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
She put a tablet in here so I could FaceTime.
She's a duck.
A letter! We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. Achoo! Oh, I ripped I read the photo's gone.
That was
Sorry.
mine.
I sneezed. I can't help it. Now, what war has Japan won?
The war against Russia. I forgot what it's called. They won that one.
How dare they salute like that? That's our salute. America!
Oh. And that's the end
Of the trilogy!
of the whole trilogy.
All 3 games!
If I go to the first game, then you can see some illustrations. Look at all these.
Gross!
Whoa!
I hate it!
Look at that. I mean,
That looks terrible!
look at that. And look at that.
Creepy!
Edgeworth is sad. Funcom is like, I'm gonna grab you.
Edgeworth looks more just
I don't
frustrated.
know. She's kind of like bland, but all right. What do you think about, well, specifically Rise from the Ashes, and then the whole game, the whole game?
Rise of the Ashes. Good. Really long for what it was.
That's the only complaint
Yeah.
I would say it's valid, but
Jeez, it's so long for. It's
I say
so
that-
long.
yeah. It's like, as soon as we get past the April May. That's
June,
this
July.
game. I meant Angel Star. As soon as we get past the Angel Star testimonies, then it's very good. Yeah. That's all you have to say. Is it's good, long,
It's good. Good, but long.
good but long. Okay, good.
That's
Got
the
it.
only negative I could think about
Yeah.
it.
And what do you think about the game as a whole?
Yeah, as a
This is your
whole?
first Ace Attorney experience.
I can see why people like it.
But I hate it.
But I despise it.
Ugh.
I mean, I probably wouldn't play it on my free time, but that's because it's not my type of game. But I found the game
you risked
fun.
yourself. The next games are going to be much harder, much more complicated. Like Rise from the Ashes, you know, you had trouble with that a bit. Most of the cases are going to be as difficult as Rise from the Ashes. So you look stupid on camera.
But everybody likes to see.
But we're not doing the next game next. What we're going to do next is, what was it again?
I think it had to do with snakes or something.
Snake. We're playing Snake.
The old phone game.
Man, it's gonna be the best playthrough ever. That's right, we're gonna be playing Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. I'm not playing Twin Snakes. Because that's just silly.
We're cool.
We're cool. We played the originals, alright? So, until then,
I don't know about that.
just go with it.
I played him!
Until then, thank you for watching this episode of Ace Attorney. Make sure to like, subscribe, and up, and middle of the wheel, but which is
Every day.
bye.